although what you are about to hear does not necessarily have anything to do with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was given that name Tinubu, is not a member of any version of the Tinubu's family. He is neither from the original Abekuta Tinubu's bloodline, the Bugara pedigree, nor the slave line of descent. Bola Tinubu is from a town in Osun State called Iragbiji, which is the headquarters of the local government called Borikpe. Borikpe, his older sister, is the mother of Alhaji Igboyega Oyetola, the current governor of Osun State. That is that. But you'll be wondering, what is the name that Tinubu or Bola Tinubu is supposed to bear? The name that comes from credible accounts, informants in Iragbiji, the original name is Bola Ahmed Amoda Lamidi Songodele. Tinubu's original name is Amoda Lamidi Songodele. Amoda is a Yoruba Muslim domestication of Ahmed, which is the name that he presently bears. Simply put, Ahmed Lamidi Songo Dele, that is his name. But then, let us get into what is on ground right now. Migration is part of human existence. Even animals do the same. But for human beings, it is a little bit complex. And as you know, once you keep repeating a narrative, it becomes the truth. It becomes a reality after a while. There are a lot of families in Yoruba land, and particularly indigenous to Lagos State. But as we know right now, there is probably no indigenous Lagos family name that is more famous than the Tinubu's family. But although the family is now clearly culturally Yoruba, its ethnic provenance is traceable to what is now Borno State. Yes, Borno State. I'm sure many of you will be shocked. Really? According to Lagos historians, underscoring the historical and sociological inaccuracy of notions of ethnic purism in Nigeria, the patriarch of the Tinubu's family, historians of Lagos say, was a Kanuri man known as Momodu. It was most probably Momodu since Kanuri tend to shorten Muhammad to Modu. Bugara, who was also alternatively called Momo Abubakar, Momo Buka, or Alfa Ibunu. He was an Islamic scholar who migrated from the defunct Borno Empire to what was then the Lagos colony in the 1800s and achieved some renown, there were a lot of renowned achievements in the Lagos society from the same man. Now, when Atiku was vying for the position of president, all of a sudden, certain people came up with this talk of how he is a Cameroonian, as if people do not know that somehow, somewhere, the British, the colonial masters, divided Africa. But for political reasons, they claimed and they said that Atiku is a Cameroonian and should not be vying for the position of president in Nigeria. But Atiku is from a state, Adamawa State, that is a state recognized by law in Nigeria. So let us leave that aside. Now they have started digging into the name that Bola Ahmed Tinubu took upon or probably was given to him. Let us say Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an adopted son of late Madam Tinubu. That is just what it is. So they started going deep, digging into the ancestry of the genealogy of that name, of that Tinubu. Now they said that in the mid 1800s, they said this man was employed, and I'm talking about the Modu, the man called Modu. They said this man was employed as an Islamic spiritual guardian by Madam Efunroye Tinubu, a famous wealthy slave trader, power broker, and agitator in Lagos, who was later banished to Abeokuta by the Lagos Oba of that time. In time, the spiritual guardian fell in love with his employer and they got married. Now I'm trying to connect these dots together. Efunroye Tinubu, a famous wealthy slave trader, power broker, agitator in Lagos, or let's say more or less, let's just leave it at agitator. Some might say activist, banished to Abeokuta by the Oba of Lagos, Oba of Eko. Now, the man from Borno, the Kanuri man, according to this history, got married to Efunroye Tinubu. But the marriage didn't produce children. Apparently, the childlessness of a marriage was a consequence of Madam Tinubu's infertility because she consented to Bugara marrying other women, and eventually these women bore children. A mark of the cordiality that existed between Madam Tinubu and Afa Bugara, in spite of Bugara's marriage to other women. Of course, you know this is acceptable in Islam, and having children by them was evident in the fact that Bugara's children adopted Tinubu as their family name, even though they didn't share any affiliation with Madam Tinubu. Now, can you connect the dots together? They said this particular woman did not have children. The question I believe a lot of people want to ask is this: the woman, does she have siblings? Of course, brothers and sisters. Let us even say brothers. Where did she get that name Tinubu from? Possibly from her own father, if she wasn't married and kept that name and tried to have children with another man. If that is the name that she got from her own father, there is probability of Tinubu'S existing with that same surname. So they went on to say that the children of this Kanuri man took the name Tinubu as theirs. Now, this Tinubu's family, from an insightful inaugural lecture titled The Undertaker, The Python's Eye and Footsteps of the Ant, the historian's burden, delivered by Professor Siyan Oyeweso at Lagos State University, LASU, in 2006. Oyeweso, one of the Nigerians' well-regarded historians who had had an extensive academic career at LASU, now teaches at Osun State University. Professor Oyeweso quoted Madam Tinubu's biographer by the name of Oladipo Yemiton as saying that while most people who bear the Tinubu's name were children of Bugara, who had no direct blood link with Madam Tinubu, scions of her former slaves and relatives from Abeokuta also bear it. Now, I don't know if this holds water anyway, but what you're trying to say is that there are a lot of, in quote, bastards or people who took on the name that does not belong to them. A man came from Borno Empire, took on the name of his wife or lover, gave it to his children, probably kept his own, but gave it to the children. Since this man knows that that name is important, the name will open doors. So he ended up giving the name, according to the history, to those children. And those children kept on and on giving the name to their children. So this name, Tinubu, from what they are saying, there are certain people bearing this name who are not supposed to bear this name. Now, this historian went on. He said, during this association of Momo, Buka, and Eforonye, Tinubu, the latter's name was so pervasive and all-embracing that all within the household perforce assumed the name Tinubu. Oyeweso quoted Yemiton to have written, included in his household were the children of Momo, Buka, by his other wives and Madame Tinubu's relatives from Abeokuta who had joined her in Lagos and lived with her. Of course, a number of slaves also assumed that name, Tinubu. Nothing less, based on the writer's knowledge of the people and sociology of Kanem Borno, Memodu Bugara was not Kanuri, at least not on his patrilineal side. He was most certainly a Shua Arab. Shua Arabs who have been integral to the Borno society for centuries and who number a little over 1 million in contemporary Borno state. And they are called Bagara, simply put, cattle herders, by Middle Eastern Arabs. Bugara, according to the corruption of the word, is Bagara by Lagosians of 1800. Although several Bagara people whom Kanuris call Shua Arabs still speak their dialect, the dialect of the Arabic language, often called Chadian Arabic in the linguistic literature, many of them have intermarried with the dominant Kanuri people in Borno and have adopted the Kanuri language. The late Abba Kyari was a Kanurized Shua Arab Bagara. For all you know, Abba Kyari and the Bugara line of the Tinubu'S family in Lagos may share distant ancestral links. Now, is this a plot to try to Fulanize or Arabnize certain parts of Yoruba land, or say, well, we are all blood, we are all in this together? Is this right up to connect the dots together? This same Tinubu name, it is okay, let us accept you people might be related, but the truth, let us be sincere, there are a lot of connections and intermarriage, interlocking here and there that if you have the opportunity to do DNA ancestry and the database is very robust, you will be shocked at the kind of information that you will get about yourself. At the end of the day, you will come to realize that we are one family. It's just unfortunate that we've been divided by tribe, we've been divided by religion. And I will tell you the truth and reality. If things were working fine, the constitution is made for the people by the people, and there is this corruption at least to 0.1%, no one will be speaking about we want to break. Although, in reality, let us be sincere, countries that speak the same language tend to stay together for a long time. I'm not saying people will not be corrupt, but they tend to stay together for a long time. When you have people who do not speak the same language, there is always, often, a lot of commotion here and there. If you look at the Bible, God himself disrupted language for a reason. He wanted people who speak the same language to cohabit, to stay, to live together. What are your thoughts as regards this one? Let us meet at the comment section below.